Hello everyone, welcome to Alfonso Academy. I am Sir Peter Alfonso, and today's part we are going to see some important formulas in chapter gravitation, and then we will solve some numericals. So to start with, Newton's second law gave us the formula: force is equal to mass into acceleration. So force is equal to mass into acceleration. So acceleration here we are taking as acceleration due to gravity, which is denoted by small g. And then we learned about centripetal force, which was given by mv square divided by r. And then we arrived to Newton's universal law of gravitation, which states that every object in the universe attracts every other object with a definite force. This force is directly proportional to the product of the masses of the object and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So force is equal to g, which was the gravitational constant. To remove the proportionality sign, product of the masses of the two objects and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So r was the distance between the two objects. And then we have to learn about three equations of motions, which we have already learned in 9th standard. So this is like a revision. So the three equations of motion, Newton's three equations of motion. The first one, v is equal to u plus at. Second, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and third, v square equal to u square plus 2as. And then for a free fall, initial velocity equal to 0, acceleration is equal to acceleration due to gravity for a free fall. So these equations are modified for free fall by taking u equal to 0 and a equal to g. So this equation, the first equation becomes gt, v equal to gt. The second equation becomes s equal to half gt square, and third equation becomes v square equal to 2gs. So these are the equations for free fall. So these three equations are for free fall. Suppose if you don't remember this equation, then you can also use this equation even in case of free fall, but value of u you have to take 0 and value of a you have to take as g, acceleration due to gravity. So next we learned about acceleration due to gravity. So the formula for acceleration due to gravity was given as gm divided by r square, where r was the radius of the earth. So r was the radius of the earth. Suppose the object is placed on the surface of the earth, then we could use this formula because r was the radius of the earth and the distance, which was the distance from the object to the center of the earth. And now suppose the object is placed at certain height, then we have to use the formula as g equal to gm upon r square. So the distance is denoted by, distance between the object and the center of the earth is denoted by r. So we have to use this second formula. This is in case of the object placed on the surface of the earth. Now this is, r is nothing but gm r plus h, radius of the earth plus the height to which the object is placed from the surface of the earth. So this formula is for r equal to or greater than r. So these three formulas you can use according to the given things in your problem. Suppose it is given the object is placed on the surface of the earth, you can use either of the first two formulas, or if it is given that the object is onto a certain height from the surface of the earth, you have to use the third formula. So next thing we learnt about gravitational potential energy. So formula for potential energy was given as potential energy equal to negative of g m divided by r plus h. And then we learnt about escape velocity. Formula for escape velocity was given as root of 2gm divided by r. And then if we multiply and divide this term by r, then gm divided by r square could be replaced by small g. So we were getting another formula for escape velocity as root of 2gr. So these were the all important formulas in chapter gravitation. And then we must remember some more formulas which we learnt in our lower standards, like speed is equal to distance upon time, then circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, some basic formulas. And then we have to remember few values like mass of the earth, radius of the earth, then value for universal gravitational constant. It's not a requirement in your exams because it is normally given in your problems. These things are normally given in your problems, but it is good to remember. It's like a good knowledge of science. So you have to remember these values. So value for G equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to negative 11 Newton meter square per kg square. And then mass of the earth 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg. Radius of the earth 6.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter or 6,400 kilometer. And then you have to remember the units. So units for distance is meter, small m, meter. Then unit for force is Newton. Same is the unit for weight. Weight and force, it is the same unit, Newton. Then you have to remember the unit for velocity. Velocity unit is meter per second. Then acceleration or acceleration due to gravity, meter per second square. And then unit for mass. Mass is measured in kg. And last you have to remember unit for universal gravitational constant, which is Newton meter square per kg square. So these are the units, these are the values, and these are the all important formulas in chapter gravitation. If you know this everything, it's very easy to solve the problems. So let's start with the numericals. The first one, an object takes 5 seconds to reach the ground from a height of 5 meter on a planet. What is the value of G on the planet? So it is given that there is an object which takes 5 seconds to cover a distance of 5 meters. So time is given as 5 seconds. Distance covered is given as 5 meter. You are told to find the value for G. U will be equal to 0 because object is traveling from a height. So initial velocity will be equal to 0. So first equation of motion you cannot use because it includes V and we are told to find G. So G is also there, V is also there in that equation. V equal to U plus 8T or V equal to GT. That is the Newton's first equation of motion. That equation you cannot use. So you have to go for second equation. S is equal to UT plus half AT square. So S is equal to UT plus half AT square. So U equal to 0, half GT square, A equal to G. Or directly you can use the equation for free fall, S equal to half GT square. So substitute the values. S equal to 5 meter, so S equal to 5 meter, so half. G you have to find, T is 5 seconds, so 5 square. So G you can bring on one side or keep that. 2 will come in the numerator of the other side, so this will be 5 into 2, 10, and then this 5 square will go in the denominator of the other side, so this will be 25. 5 square is 25. So 10 divided by 25 is nothing but 0.4. Well, unit for acceleration due to gravity is meter per second square. So the value for acceleration due to gravity on the planet is 0.4 meter per second square. So let's go to the second problem. The radius of planet A is half the radius of planet B. If the mass of A is ma, what must be the mass of B? So that the value of G on B is half that of its value on A. So it is given that there are two planets A and B, and the comparison is given between the radius, between the acceleration due to gravity, and you are told to find the comparison of mass of the both the planets. So three things are given: radius, mass and acceleration due to gravity. This is included in the formula. G is equal to capital G m divided by r square, the formula for acceleration due to gravity. So we have to use this formula in this problem for both the planets, planet A as well as B. So let's write whatever is given. So it is given that radius of planet A is equal to half the radius of planet B. So this is the first relation which is given. So if the mass of A is ma, what must be the mass of B? So you are told to find mass of B. And then the value of G on B is, so value of G on B is half that of its value on A. Half that of its value on A. So through this you can get that GA equal to 2 times GB. So you can take the 2 this side, GA will be equal to 2 times GB. So this is the first relation which you are getting. This is the second relation which you are getting for both the planets. So R equal to, radius of A equal to half times radius of planet B, and acceleration due to gravity of A equal to 2 times acceleration due to gravity of B. So these are the two things which are given. Now we have to write the formula for both the planets. G is equal to Gm divided by R square for both the planets, planets A and planet B. So here it will be G equal to Gm divided by R square. This will be for planet A, and Gb equal to Gm divided by R square. So this will be for planet B. Now let's substitute the two relations in the first formula for planet A. So Ga is equal to 2 times Gb. So this is nothing but 2 times Gb. So next, G will remain as it is, Ma will also remain as it is, and then Ra is nothing but half times Rb. So this will be half times Rb, the whole square. Now next, Gb equal to Gma divided by, so if you take square of half, it will be 1 by 4, and then Rb square, and these two will come over here in the denominator, so it will be here. So then you can cancel 2 and 4, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. Then you can take that 2 in the directly in the numerator. So Gb will be equal to 2Gma divided by radius of B square. So this is the value for Gb. Now this value you can substitute over here instead of this Gb. So this you can take as 1 and this you can take as 2. So substitute 1 in 2. So value of Gb you can substitute in the equation 2. So value of Gb is 2Gma divided by Rb square. So 2Gma divided by Rb square equal to Gmb divided by Rb square. So now you can see that Rb square cancels, G and G cancels. So this G and this G cancels, Rb square cancels. So what remains is Mb equal to 2 times Ma. Just interchanging the sides, left hand side to right hand side. So this is the value for Mb. We were told to find the value for Mb, the relation between Mb and Ma, mass of planet B with mass of planet A. So Mb you are getting as 2 times Ma. So next problem, the mass and weight of an object on Earth are 5 kg and 49 Newton respectively. What will be their values on the moon? Assume that the acceleration due to gravity on the moon is 1/6 of that on the Earth. So mass and weight of an object on Earth is given. You have to find it on the moon, and then relation is given that acceleration due to gravity on the moon is 1/6 times that of the Earth. So let's write what is given. So mass of the object is given on the Earth, it's 5 kg. Weight of the object is given as 49 Newton, and then we have to find mass on the moon and weight on the moon, and a relation is given that acceleration due to gravity, which is small g, on the moon is 1/6 times that of the acceleration due to gravity on the Earth. So we all know the formula for force equal to mg. Force is nothing but the weight. So weight equal to force equal to m into g. So if you want to find it for Earth, then it will be g of the Earth, then force on the Earth, weight on the Earth. Now mass will remain constant because mass, we have learnt earlier, mass is a scalar quantity. So mass remains constant wherever you go, whichever planet you go, it remains constant. So here mass is 5 kg, acceleration due to gravity on the Earth, this is what we have to find first. And then weight is given as 49 Newton. 49 Newton. So if you want the value for GE, you have to take the 5 into the denominator of the other side. So GE will be 49 divided by 5, which is nothing but 9.8 meter per second square. So we have got the value for acceleration due to gravity on the Earth. That we can substitute over here and find the acceleration due to gravity for the moon. So Gm will be equal to 1/6 into 9.8. So we can divide this 9.8 divided by 6. 9.8 divided by 6. Remainder is 3 here. So 8 will come down. Point will go over here. So 6 into 6 is 36. So the remainder will be 2 over here. So it will be 20. So 6 into 3 is 18. 6 into 3 is 18. So again remainder will be 2. 6 into 3 is again 18. So this will continue as remainder 2. So the answer for that division is 1.633. So that is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity on the moon. So acceleration due to gravity on the moon is equal to 1.633 meter per second square. Now we can substitute this value in the formula for weight, which is nothing but force, m into g. So weight on moon is mass of the object into acceleration due to gravity on the moon. So mass of the object will remain the same, constant, 5 kg into acceleration due to gravity we have just found out, 1.633. So this is nothing but weight on the moon. Now we can multiply this. 1.633 into 5. So 5 into 3 is 15, carry 1, 16, carry 1, 6 into 5 is 30 plus 1 is 31, and this is 8. So point after 3 places. So 8.165. If we round that off to 2 places after the decimal, it will be 8.17. So weight on the moon of the object is 8.17 Newton. So this is what we are told to find. And mass of the object on the moon or on the Earth is 5 kg because mass remains constant wherever you go. So this is what is asked in the problem. To find out the weight of the object on the moon and mass of the object on the moon, which remains constant. So this is the required answer. So let's go to the next problem. An object thrown vertically upwards reaches a height of 500 meters. What was its initial velocity? How long will the object take to come back to the Earth? Assume g equal to 10 meters per second square. So there are 2 parts for this problem. First we have to find the initial velocity, and then we have to find the time taken by the object to go up and come back to the Earth. So let's find the initial velocity first. We have to write the given things first. So the distance, the height to which the object goes is 500 meters. So s is equal to 500 meter. Next, v will be equal to 0 because when object goes up, it will the final velocity of the object will be equal to 0. Initial velocity we have to find, and g equal to 10 meter per second square. So which formula we can use to find u? First formula we cannot use because there is u and t also. Time taken is not given. Second formula also includes time taken. So we have to go for the third formula, Newton's third equation of motion. V square equal to u square plus 2as. So u square we have to find, v is 0. 2 into acceleration due to gravity for an object thrown upwards will be negative the value of whatever value is given, 9.8 or 10 meter per second square. So it will be negative 10 because the object is traveling a distance against the acceleration due to gravity. And then s is given as 500 meter. So u square, so this will be negative 2 into 10 is 2 into 10 is 20, and 20 into 500. 20 into 500 is 5 into 2 is 10, so 10,000. Next, u square will be equal to, when you take the 10,000 the other side, it will become positive. So u will be equal to root of 10,000. So the initial velocity is 100 meter per second. So this is the first part. Second part, how long will the object take to come back to the earth? So by using the first formula, first equation of motion, v is equal to u plus at. Substitute the values, v equal to 0, u we have found out as 100 meter per second. So 100 plus, this is again negative g, which is negative 10. And then multiply by time. So next step, 100 you can take the other side, minus 100 equal to minus 10t. So t equal to 100 divided by 10, nothing but 10 seconds. So time taken by the object to go up is 10 seconds. Again 10 seconds. To come down it will be again 10 seconds. So it will be total time taken will be 20 seconds. So the total time taken by the object to reach the Earth's surface is 20 seconds. So this is the required answer. So let's go to the next problem. A ball falls off a table and reaches the ground in 1 second. Assuming g equal to 10 meter per second square, calculate its speed on reaching the ground and the height of the table. So we are told to find two things. First is the final velocity of the ball when it reaches the ground, and second is the distance traveled, the height of the table, that is the distance traveled by the ball. So v we are told to find, s we are told to find. U is equal to 0 because the ball falls off from the table, so it is on the table. Initial velocity is equal to 0. Then time taken by the ball to reach the ground is given as 1 second, and g is given as 10 meter per second square. So we can directly to find v we can directly use the first equation of motion, which is v is equal to u plus at. So u equal to 0, a is equal to g, which is 10 meter per second square, and time taken is 1 second. So v is equal to 10 meter per second. So we have found the final velocity of the ball as 10 meter per second. Next we have to find the height, which is nothing but the distance traveled. So the formula for distance, s is second equation of motion, s is equal to ut plus half at square, or directly you can take as s is equal to gt square. That's the equation for whenever u is equal to 0. That's the equation of motion for free fall. So s equal to u is 0 plus half, a is nothing but g, which is given as 10 meter per second square, and then t is 1. half, 1 square is 1, multiply by 10 is 10. So this is 5 meter. So the final velocity of the ball on reaching the ground is 10 meter per second and the height of the table is 5 meter. So next problem, the masses of the earth and the moon are 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg and 7.4 into 10 raised to 22 kg respectively. The distance between them is 3.84 into 10 raised to 5 kilometer. Calculate the gravitational force of attraction between the two. So mass of the earth is given, mass of the moon is given, distance between the two is given, but it is given in kilometer, so that you have to convert in meter. For converting kilometer into meter, you have to multiply by 1000. That is nothing but you have to multiply by 10 raised to 3. So this 10 raised to 5 becomes 10 raised to 8. So the distance between the two is 3.84 into 10 raised to 8 meter. And then you are told to find the gravitational force of attraction between the two. So the formula for gravitational force of attraction is capital G into M1 into M2 divided by R square. M1 over here is the mass of the earth and M2 is the mass of the moon. So substitute the values. Value for capital G is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11. Mass of the earth is 6 into 10 raised to 24. Mass of the moon is 7.4 into 10 raised to 22. And then value for R, the distance between the two is 3.84 into 10 raised to 8 and this square. So 3.84 square is nothing but 14.74. Multiplication I have shown over here. 14.74. 10 raised to 8 square is 10 raised to 16. Their powers get multiplied. So 8 into 2 is 16. So 10 raised to 16. Then 6.67 I have multiplied with 6. We are getting it as 40.02. This 7.4 I have kept as it is. And then this 10 raised to minus 11, 10 raised to 24, 10 raised to 22. So 24 plus 22 is 46. 46 minus 11 is 35. So 10 raised to 35. And then this 10 raised to 16 I have taken in the numerator. So power get a negative sign. The sign changes. So 10 raised to minus 16. And then again 7.4. And then I have done this division first. So I have done this division first. Make it easy. So this division I have shown over here. 4002 divided by 1474. So answer for that division is 2.71 and then this 7.4. Now 35 minus 16 is 19. So 10 raised to 19 and this multiplication 7.4 into 2.71. I have shown over here. You are getting the answer as 20.054. That is nothing but 20. So force is equal to 20 into 10 raised to 19. Then I have taken this 0 to this power over here. So it becomes 10 raised to 20. 10 raised to 20. So the force of attraction between the earth and the moon is 2 into 10 raised to 20 Newton. Next problem. The mass of the earth is 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg. The distance between the earth and the sun is 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 meter. If the gravitational force between the two is 3.5 into 10 raised to 22 Newton, what is the mass of the sun? The gravitational constant is given. So mass of the earth is given, the distance between the sun and the earth is given, force between the two is given, and you have to find mass of the sun. So you can use the same formula. Force is equal to G M1 into M2 divided by R square, where M1 is mass of the earth, M2 is mass of the sun. So substitute the values in the formula. So gravitational force between the two is given as 3.5 into 10 raised to 22 Newton. Then 6.67 into 10 raised to negative 11 is the value for capital G, which is gravitational constant. So mass of the earth and value for R is 1.5 into 10 raised to 11. So in the next step what you can do is multiply this 1.5 into 1.5, which is 1.5 square. So I have shown the multiplication over here. You are getting the answer for that as 2.25 and 10 raised to 11 is 10 raised to 11 square is 10 raised to 22. So I have shifted this denominator into the left hand side as numerator. So it comes over here 2.25 into 10 raised to 22. So in the next step I have multiplied this 2.25 into 3.5. 2.25 into 3.5 is 7.875. So 7.875. 10.875, and then 10 raised to 22 into 10 raised to 22 becomes 10 raised to 44. Their power gets added, and then 6.67 into 6 is 40.02, and then 24 minus 11 is 13. So it becomes 10 raised to 13 multiplied by mass of the sun. So I have shifted this numerator into the denominator on the other side. So you are getting mass of the sun as 7.875 into 10 raised to 44 divided by 40.02 into 10 raised to 13. In the next step, what I have done is, you can see that in the denominator that for 40.02 there are 2 places before the decimal. So in the numerator also you can make a similar number, 2 places before the decimal. So you can multiply this 7.875 by 10. So it will become 78.75. Then the division becomes little bit simpler. Then this 10 raised to 44 will become 10 raised to 43, because 10 you have already multiplied with this number. So this I have written separately from this. This division I have shown over here. So answer for that division you are getting as 1.967. 1.967, and then this, when you take this 10 raised to 13 into the numerator, it will become 10 raised to negative 13. The sign changes. Then 10 raised to 43 multiplied by 10 raised to negative 13 is nothing but 10 raised to 30. 43 minus 13 is 30. So 10 raised to 30. So this I have taken 2 places after the decimal. So the mass of the sun which you are getting is 1.96 into 10 raised to 30 kg. Next problem. Let the period of revolution of a planet at a distance r from a star be t. Prove that if it was at a distance of 2 times r from the star, its period of revolution will be root of 8 times t. So here we need to understand this problem well. It's given that there is a planet which revolves around a star, and the distance of the planet from the center of the star is capital R, and the time taken by the planet to complete one full revolution, to complete one full circle, is capital T. If that distance is increased and made twice of that R, 2 times R, then the time taken by the planet to cover one full round, one full revolution is root of 8 times T. This we need to prove. So it is given that there is a planet, it undergoes circular motion around a star, and this distance is given as R. The time taken is given as T. We are told to prove that if this distance of the planet is increased double than that of R, it becomes 2 times R, then the period of revolution, which is T, becomes root of 8 times T. This we are told to prove. So first of all we have to use the formula speed is equal to distance upon time. Speed is equal to distance upon time. So we know speed is V, time is T. For any circular motion, distance covered in one full revolution is circumference of the circle, which is given by 2 pi r. So V is equal to 2 pi r divided by T. So T will be equal to 2 pi r divided by V. Now to find the value for V, we can use the formula for centripetal force, which is related to the circular motion. So centripetal force is given by F is equal to mv square divided by r. So V square will be equal to Fr divided by m. Force between any 2 particles, so here it is between planet and the star, is given by universal law of gravitation. So it is given as Gmm divided by r square, and this r upon m, r divided by m. So this will be V square. So here you can see m cancels, so m and m goes off, this square goes off with this r. So V square will be equal to Gm divided by r. So V will be equal to root of Gm divided by r. So you can substitute the value for V. V is equal to root of Gm divided by root of r. I have just separated the roots. So T will be equal to 2 pi r, this root r will go in the numerator directly. So it will go as r raised to half. Root of r is nothing but r raised to half. And this will remain as it is, root of gn, root of gn. So next step, t will be equal to 2 pi r raised to 3 by 2 divided by root of gn. You can number this equation as 1. So how you got this 3 by 2? Here there is nothing, means there is 1, r raised to 1. So 1 plus half. 1 plus half is nothing but 3 by 2. 1 plus half. So here you can multiply by, divide and multiply by 2. This half will remain as it is. So 2 plus 1 is 3. This is common denominator, common divisor. So it becomes 3 by 2. So 1 plus half is nothing but 3 by 2. So number this equation as 1 and then apply this equation for the problem. First it is given that the planet is revolving at a distance r. So at r equal to r, t becomes, so t is equal to 2 pi capital R raised to 3 by 2 divided by root of gn. So you can number this equation as 2. Next, when the planet revolves at double the distance as the original distance which is given as r, so r is equal to 2 times r. The period of revolution will also change. Let's take it for as t1, t becomes t1. So t1 will be equal to 2 pi. So instead of r we have to take 2 times r. So 2r raised to 3 by 2 divided by root of gn. In the next step, what you have to do is separate this out. You can take this as 2 raised to 3 by 2 multiplied by r raised to 3 by 2. So t1 will become 2 pi r raised to 3 by 2 multiplied by 2 raised to 3 by 2 divided by root of gn. Now if you can see, this is nothing but from equation 2 it is t. So 2 pi r raised to 3 by 2 divided by root of gn is nothing but t. So we can take it as t1 equal to t times 2 raised to 3 by 2. So t1 equal to t into 2 raised to 3 by 2. So 2 raised to 3 by 2, we can further simplify it as 2 raised to 3 by 2 is nothing but 2 raised to 3 into half. Now a number raised to half means root of that number. So root of, it is nothing but root of 2 cube. So 2 cube is 8. So it is root of 8. So t1 equal to t into root of 2 cube. 2 cube is nothing but 8. So root of 8 times t. So t1 equal to root of 8 times t. Hence proved. So next problem is based on gravitational potential energy. Find the gravitational potential energy of a body of mass 10 kg when it is at a height of 6400 km from the Earth's surface. So the formula for gravitational potential energy is potential energy equal to negative capital G mass of the Earth, mass of the body divided by R plus H. So G, we know the value G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to negative 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Then mass of the Earth is 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg. Mass of the body is given, it's 10 kg. So small m equal to 10 kg. Then radius of the Earth is 6400 kilometers. So we have to know these values. And then value for h is given, height of 6400 kilometers. So height is also 6400 kilometer. So we can find the value for r plus h over here itself. So r plus h will be equal to 6400 plus 6400, that's in kilometers. So we have to convert it into meter. So this will be 12,800 into, to convert it into meter we have to multiply by 1000, then it will become meter. So this is nothing but 128 into 10 raised to 5 meter. 128 into 10 raised to 5 meter. That's the value for R plus H. Then we can substitute the values. Potential energy equal to negative of 6.67 into 10 raised to negative 11 multiplied by 6 into 10 raised to 24 multiplied by mass of the body is 10 kg. So 10 divided by 128 into 10 raised to 5. Next step we can multiply. We have seen this multiplication many times. 6.67 into 6 is 40.02 into this we can take separately. 10 raised to negative 11, 10 raised to 24 and 10 raised to 1. So this will be 24 minus 11 is 13 and this 1, so 14. 10 raised to 14 divided by 128 into 10 raised to 5. Next step, you can remove this decimal by multiplying that number with 100. 100 you can take from here. So this will become 10 raised to 12. So negative 4002 into 10 raised to 12. And then this 10 raised to 5 you can take in the numerator. So it will become 10 raised to negative 5. 10 raised to negative 5 divided by 128. So you can do this division. 4002 divided by 128. So 4002 divided by 128. 128 into 3 is 384. 16 will be the remainder. 128 into 1 is 128. Then 4 and 34 will be the remainder. Take a point. Take a 0. 128 into 2 is 256. 4 and 8. 84 will be the remainder. Take a 0. Then next 128 into 6. 128 into 6. Carry 4. Carry 1, 6 and 7. 768. So 768. And there will be some remainder. So here it will be 6. So 31.26 is the answer for the division. 4002 divided by 128. So it will be negative of 31.26 into 10 raised to 12 minus 5 is 7. 10 raised to 7. So next you can write it as 3.126 into 10 raised to 8. So it is potential, gravitational potential energy. Unit for energy is joules. So the gravitational potential energy for a body 6,400 kilometer above the surface of the earth is negative 3.126 into 10 raised to 8 joules. Okay, next problem. A particle of mass 10 raised to minus 6 kg perform uniform circular motion. Its period is 10 seconds and the radius of the circle is 2 meters. So it is given that there is a particle of mass 10 raised to minus 6 kg which performs uniform circular motion and the radius of that circle is 2 meter and it takes 10 seconds to complete one full revolution. You are told to find the speed of the particle. So speed is equal to distance upon time. You can use that formula. Second, you are told to find the centripetal force on the particle. So centripetal force is equal to mv square divided by r. And third, the centripetal acceleration of the particle. So you can use the formula force is equal to mass into acceleration. So acceleration is equal to force divided by mass. So all these three things you can find out easily. So first, speed is equal to distance divided by time. So distance is nothing but circumference of that circle. So full revolution traveled by that particle. So circumference of that circle 2 pi r. 2 pi r. And time is the time taken by the particle to travel the distance. So it is t. So v is equal to time taken is 10 seconds. 2 into pi is 3.14 and the radius of the circle is given as 2 meters. It is given as 2 meters. So you can multiply this. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 into 3.14. Or you can multiply this first. 3.14 into 2 is 6.28. So 6.28 multiplied by 2 is 12.5. 12.56. 12.56, yes. 12.56 divided by 10. So V is equal to 1.256 meter per second. So this is the answer for the first part. The speed of the particle is equal to 1.256 meter per second, or you can round it off to 2 places after the decimal. The speed of the particle is 1.26 meter per second. Second part, we are told to find the centripetal force on the particle. So centripetal force is given by F is equal to mv square divided by r. So mass of the particle is 10 raised to minus 6 kg, and velocity we have found it out as 1.256. So what we will do, we will take it as 1.26 to make multiplication easy, divided by radius is 2 meter. So next 1.26 into 1.26 is, so we have to multiply that. 1.26 into 1.26, 6 into 6 is 36, carry 3, carry 1, 6 into 2 is 12, carry 1, 5 and 2. So this is 6, 7, carry 1, 5, 1. Point after 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1.58. So we'll take it as 1.58. 1.58 into 10 raised to minus 6 divided by 2. Next we have to divide this. So you can easily divide this over here itself. So 2 into 7 is 14. So 0.7. 2 into 7 is 14. 1 will be the remainder from this 15. It will go to 8. It will become 18. So 2 into 9 is 18. So 0.79 into 10 raised to negative 6. Unit for force is Newton. So the centripetal force on the particle is 0.79 into 10 raised to negative 6 Newton. And the last thing which you are told to find is the centripetal acceleration of the particle. So third thing which you are told to find is centripetal acceleration. So acceleration is given by force divided by mass, because F equal to m into A. So A will be equal to this, m will go in the denominator of the other side. So acceleration equal to F by m. So third thing, acceleration equal to F by m. So force we have just now found it out at 0.79 into 10 raised to negative 6. So 0.79 into 10 raised to negative 6. And mass of the particle is given as 10 raised to negative 6. So this negative 10 raised to negative 6 and this 10 raised to negative 6 cancels. And acceleration you get it as 0.79 meter per second square. So the speed of the particle is 1.256 meter per second or 1.26 meter per second. The centripetal force on the particle is 0.79 into 10 raised to negative 6 Newton, and the centripetal acceleration on the particle is 0.79 meter per second square. So this was the 8th part of chapter gravitation, and this part I had done specially because of the request from the students. I had some few comments in the comment box requesting for the numericals as they were finding difficult. So hope this have solved all your problems, and you have to practice, otherwise numericals will be always difficult for you. You have to practice it again and again. So hope this video was useful for you, and if it was useful, then please share the video and subscribe my channel, and please like this video too. So thank you very much for watching.